Hey everyone, so in this video, I'm going to be talking about the likelihood of the Simpsons being added into Fortnite. I'm going to be talking about things like the characters that will be added, maybe their emotes, the back blings, the gliders, all that stuff. So if that sounds interesting, please consider sticking around. Consider leaving a like if you do enjoy. It would also mean a lot to me if you could subscribe. We are really close to hitting 1,000, so I really would appreciate any support you could give. But let's not waste any more time. Let's first discuss what characters I think they would add. So the obvious one is Homer. They would definitely be adding Homer. As we saw with Peter in chapter 5, they sort of changed his model and made him more muscular, but that actually happened in the show. Now in The Simpsons, I haven't seen every episode, but I'm pretty sure we've definitely seen Homer be muscular before. In fact, we definitely have. So it's likely we could see that here instead of his actual build. Now, I'm not too sure. I've heard that this has been debunked, but I might have misheard. Apparently, Peter wasn't made skinnier because his hitbox would be too large because of, his belly size. Homer isn't as fat as Peter, so they might be able to leave him the same. It could have some hitbox issues. But overall, I don't think that would matter too much. I think it'd be similar to Peter, where we'd get a couple styles. We would get just his default style, and then maybe one or two other costumes with different variants that I'll pop up on the screen right now, so you can sort of see what I am expecting from the game. So now, I would assume they're going to add two characters. I know from Family Guy people were expecting like Quagmire and maybe even Joe, but they added in the giant chicken, strangely enough. For The Simpsons, there's a few characters it could be. A lot of you would assume maybe Marge, but because of her hair, I do think that the hitbox would be an actual issue for her because her hair sticks up a lot. And obviously that doesn't really seem too fair, in a game because you could see her coming a mile away. So I don't actually think it would be Marge. An obvious answer would then be Bart, but because he's so short, maybe that wouldn't work all that well. Now, yeah, we have seen them make characters bigger, like the character from the Saw franchise. I forget his name, but he obviously isn't that tall, that puppet. They made him look tall, but I think if they did that with Bart, it would look really weird. So who would it be? I had a couple of ideas, and I'm not too sure why they came to mind. It was actually either Chief Wiggum, Mr. Burns, and weirdly enough, Duffman. I think he would be a really weird but really cool option. I don't know why, to me feels like the giant chicken of The Simpsons. So I think he'd be cool. There's a bunch of other characters I thought of, like Flanders could also be a really good one, the comic book guy. But he'd have the same issue as Wiggum and Homer, obviously just with hitboxes and stuff. But I reckon the two best options would probably be Flanders and Duffman because their hitboxes wouldn't be too bad. So have Homer and one of those two. I think that could be really cool. Now for the back bling, I have two ideas. One's very simple and one is a way to incorporate another character from the show. The first one is just simply a Duff can. That would make sense for the character I mentioned before, obviously Duffman. That would make sense for him. And even with Homer, it makes sense because obviously he loves that beer. But the better idea that I had is that you would actually put Maggie as the back bling, because obviously the back bling, it moves when you run sometimes, depending on which one you have equipped, but you don't really need it. It's just sort of there. So having Maggie be on your back would just be really cute, and it'd be a cool way to incorporate another character from the show. I don't have too much to say about that. I think it would just be very cute to just have her on your back while you're running around and destroying trees and getting into fights. It would just be cool. Maybe she could make little faces and make that little noise she makes with her dummy. I think that could be really cool. I don't really have too much to say, as I said. I just think that would be a cool back bling idea. Now for the glider and the sort of stream that you're in when you go down, I've forgotten the name of it. They are very similar in theme. As we know, Homer loves donuts, so I think it would be cool to have the glider be just like a pack of donuts and then he's holding onto it by the sides. Maybe you could have a donut spilling out, he's holding on to it through the ring of the donut. That could be kind of cool. And then for the actual stream, it would just be him going down, and then it'd be the pink donut we see a lot with sprinkles on it, and that would be just a bunch of those flowing down. I wish I could show you guys some concepts and stuff, But I guess you guys could sort of see what I mean. The stream would be pink, and then there'd just be a bunch of pink donuts falling down beside him. I feel like that would fit in the game really, really well. I'm sure you guys can sort of imagine my concept. Like, I'm sure if anyone else has made a video on this is probably something they've thought of for the stream as well. I might be sort of weird thinking about this, but I don't know. I think that this would fit really well in the game and would not really stand out as being weird or out of place. I think it would just fit in the game really, really well. Pickaxe, however, is where things get a little bit more difficult. I actually am a little unsure. As you would have seen, when it comes to being in the air, like the trail that you leave and the glider, I tried to make it be around donuts because that's just a thing people associate with Homer quite a lot. But when you're on the ground, aside from Maggie being on your back, of course, I want things to be centered around beer and Duff. This is not really a kid's game, but of course you do have to be over a certain age to drink, so they might not want to have beer in any way shown in the game. I'm not really too sure about that side of things, but how would that actually work? My idea is to have just a stick, and then it would literally just be something to do with Duff on it, maybe a Duff logo on the stick. It's just a default brand, like random stick that just has like a can of Duff on the top and then Duff written on it. Very simplistic, very, very boring, which is why I don't think that would be the idea to go with. We have seen them go with very basic designs for pickaxes when they're not too sure what to do, or they could just have one made completely out of donuts, like a full-on stack of donuts, and then the top one's just a bigger donut. But that doesn't really feel like it would fit. Again, yeah, it is Homer's thing, but it just doesn't really feel like it would fit the game aesthetically and just wouldn't really feel like something from The Simpsons. So let me know in the comments, what would you like to see from a pickaxe to do with The Simpsons? This was the one thing that I'm a little unsure about, but I do think it would be around either Duff or donuts. And when it comes to emotes, most will only get 1 or 2 emotes at most. I've found it's really difficult because Homer has a lot, but they're sort of stationary ones. In terms of a dance move, I think it'd be cool if they used the clip from the Simpsons movie with the pig, Spider Pig. I think that would be like a funny little nod to the movie. If you've seen that movie, you know what I'm talking about. And in terms of the stationary ones, I think when he just stands still, I'm not going to say woohoo in the way he does because that would just be really weird, but you know what I'm talking about. I'll put a picture of him doing it right now. And then of course, just when he says dough, again, not going to try and say it like him because I'll embarrass myself, but just that, I'll try and put a picture like of him saying it somehow, or a GIF, something like that. I'll try and show it to people that might not really know what I'm talking about. I think those would be just cool, stationary, standing still ones that could be in the game that would make sense. So that's about it, everyone. I did quickly want to mention, I saw some posts about Fortnite adding shoes. I don't know if that's, like, I don't really understand that. I assume it's just going to be like a regular thing that you can customize now, like with the back blings and the gliders and all that. So if that's the case, the shoes would just be Homer's default shoes, is my guess. As far as I'm aware, he doesn't really have any like iconic shoes aside from just his regular pair. So it'd be that, and then whichever other character, Flanders or Duffman, accompanies him in the game, it would just be their regular shoes. But that's about it, everyone. So let me know what you guys think of my ideas. Would you want to see The Simpsons in Fortnite? Because personally, I think it would be a really cool idea to include them. Let me know what you think of my character suggestions. Do you think they could make Bart or a character like that work? Again, let me know. If you did enjoy and want to see more videos like this where I, bring up random characters that should appear in Fortnite, consider subscribing because, as I said, we're really close to 1K. I really appreciate you all being here, and I hope to see you in the next video, and I hope you have a great day.